Good evening, YouTubers. What's going on, everyone? 2020, so fucking crazy. This year has been nuts. One thing in particular, COVID-19 has kicked our ass. What it's done to our economy, what it's done to probably people's mental health, what it's done to the division of our country has been appalling. It's 6 months into quarantine now. There's still no cure. There's only things that we aren't allowed to take, like hydroxychloroquine, which is, studies say, it's really effective in fighting the virus. But the left doesn't want us to believe that. And now we can add yet another substance to that banned list that could potentially help cure or at least mitigate a lot of the adverse side effects of COVID. I saw this really interesting interview, I think it was yesterday, with Mike Lindell, the MyPillow guy. I know you guys know who that is, and Anderson Cooper. It's kind of long, it's like a 5-minute clip. I'm actually gonna play the whole thing because I think it's worth checking out. You guys, I have some questions. I wanted to get y'all's opinion on it. But before I show you all this stuff, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, y'all. As always, it's greatly appreciated. I love seeing my numbers go up. I know there's not many of us, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So you guys, check this out.
You're not a scientist, yet you're claiming this substance, which has not been studied in any meaningful way, can cure COVID, and you have a financial stake in the company. You would profit from it if this is being sold widely. Morally, is that right?
Well, I was contacted on Easter Sunday after, that I've told the whole country to pray for the answer for this pandemic. And it's a great administration has had me, anything I hear out there about, whether it be good sanitizers or cures or anything, to bring it back to the task force. So this guy called me on Easter Sunday and said he had an answer to the virus. And I reached out to my friend, Secretary Carson, who's on the task force, and he's a doctor, and he looked into it all, got everything from the company, and he said, this is the real deal. It's been tested by over 1,000 people to be safe. Medical tests.
Wait a minute, sir. Wait a minute. Stop. There's no public peer-reviewed studies about this. There's no.
Yeah, there is.
There's no human
There's
trials that have been published anywhere.
Yeah, there's safety tests that was done in 2016 for over 1,000 people that it's safe to take. And if it's safe to take, that's when I started taking.
Where is this study? The only study or report out is one report from the University of Texas. That was a preprint study, and that was only involving cells in a test tube.
No, there's been human studies, absolutely human studies,
Stop,
and it's been
sir,
tested for phase 1 and phase 2.
Sir, where are
the
these human? Where are these human studies? Why aren't they public? Why aren't they publicly reviewed out there? Why aren't they been peer reviewed?
Well, the 1,000 people are out there. I don't know if you can't find it. I'm not a medical doctor. I just know that Ben Carson, who's on the task force, he brought it to the president, going,
well,
hey,
okay, but stop, sir. Ben Carson has in the past, been paid to promote supplements and got in trouble for it back in 2015. So he has a track record on that. You are telling people that this cures COVID. You have no studies to prove it, and you're saying 1,000 people were tested.
I got my own study. When I seen the tests of 1,000 people that it was safe. That's all I needed.
Sir, okay, if you've seen this test, where is it?
I've been taking it since April.
Where is it?
If
you've seen this test, where is it?
100 of my friends and family. This thing works. It's the miracle of all time.
Sir, you said you've seen this test. Where is it?
The tests are out there. The 1,000 people, phase 1 and phase 2.
Where is the test? Show it to us.
I don't have the test.
Name where it's from. Who did the test? What university? What doctors?
Well, you'd have to talk to. I guess you'd have to have Dr. Carson and then the company. All the tests that were done on your show. You said you saw the test.
You read the test. So tell me about the test. Where was it done?
The test, it was done on over 1,000 people.
Where was it done? And what were the procedures for the test? You read this. Let's hear it.
The procedures are, it was used against cancer. So they did, when you do a safety test of phase 1 and phase 2, it's to see if there's any.
There's been no phase 1 and phase 2 on this drug, sir. There's been no phase 1 and phase 2 on this drug,
Yeah,
sir.
absolutely there has. The FDA has had it since April. 100%. You're just misconstrued because the media is trying to take away this amazing cure that works for everybody.
Okay, so just for our viewers, you have no medical background. You're not a scientist. A guy called you in April, said he had this product. You are now on the board and going to make money from the sale of this product. The reason he reached out to you is because you have the ear of the president, so he gets a meeting with the president, and you stand to make money from this. How do you sleep at night?
Anderson, that's your narrative. This is.
You're not going to make money from this?
Week because they want. I don't care about the money. I think I've proven that.
Really?
I give millions of dollars to everything that happens, from hurricanes to $4 million worth of masks that I gave out free pocket. I just want to say, if you let me talk here,
sure.
I will tell you, they put me on the board last week because when this gets approved by the FDA, which it will, it's passed every safety test. They have all the studies done, which
the
you don't
FDA
have
doesn't
access
really
to.
approve supplements.
When this comes out, this company wanted me because I help people. That's my passion, and I can scale things to get it out to everybody, to save our country, to save lives.
There's no evidence.
To save lives.
How are you different than a snake oil salesman? You have no medical background. There's no evidence of this substance. It hasn't been tested in animals or humans.
I think my platform stands by itself. I have a platform that God gave me of integrity and trust. I would not go all in on something
sir,
to
let's
help
talk about
people
integrity and trust.
true.
Okay. If it wasn't true, you wouldn't do it?
Absolutely, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do anything if it wasn't truthful. If I didn't do my due diligence, just like I did my due diligence when I met our president before he was president, the greatest president in the history of the United States.
Yeah, so that interview left me with a lot of questions. I've actually heard from a couple of people, my mom included, that Mike Lindell in real life is actually a genuine, really nice person. He's always came off a little sleazy to me on TV, but I've always wanted to like him. That being said, he was being super dodgy during this interview when it came to answering Anderson's questions. And Anderson did bring up some really valid points, such as why the hell would a biotech company put a pillow manufacturer CEO on their board? So the company Mike sits on the board for is called Phoenix Biotech, and their main bread and butter, it looks like, is just treating oncologic diseases. So when I was looking at the website, I looked at their board of directors, and here you go, Mike himself is on here, and reading it, it didn't talk too much about his business prowess. I mean, it did mention that he created $1 billion business, but more so it mentioned his drug use and his fuck-ups in the past and how he's now a changed man. I thought that was a little weird to include on a biotech company's board of directors page. And then there's this clip that's floating around the internet, which made me even more skeptical, to be honest.
Let me ask you about this new drug that's being touted by the MyPillow founder as a potential coronavirus therapeutic. What's so worrisome and so disturbing, Sanjay, and I want your thoughts. This person actually has the ear of the President of the United States with a drug. It's called OLEANDRIN, I think, as dangerous as this one is. Just give us a sense of what's going on here.
This idea that maybe they'll try and sell it as a supplement, you've got to remember that supplements are a pretty unregulated industry in the United States, and oftentimes people buy supplements thinking, look, it can't hurt, might help, why not? That's not the case here. This one could hurt. It has no evidence whatsoever in humans to show that it'd be beneficial against the coronavirus. I watched the interview that Anderson did with this founder of MyPillow earlier. He said that there's phase 1 and phase 2 data around this. There's not. We've called the FDA just over the last couple of hours. They won't comment on this. So we're going to have to talk about it, obviously, because it's something the president's talking about. But oleandrin, which comes from oleander, the plant, that is a toxic plant. Wolf, there was this book called White Oleander and a movie, White Oleander. It was about somebody poisoning somebody else using this substance. You don't want to use this.
As skeptical as I was about Mike Lindell, I will always be a million times more skeptical when it comes to anything CNN says. Let's face it, we all know they're full of shit. So had to dive a little deeper into this. You know, we have Sanjay Gupta, sick mullet, by the way, bro, sick quarantine mullet, Sanjay. He was saying that the FDA, they reached out to the FDA and they refused to comment on the matter. And he goes directly from their refusal to assuming that because they refused to comment on the matter, that they aren't currently running phase 1 and 2 trials on the potential drug. So So at first glance, it looks like, I hate to admit it, but it looks like Sanjay was right. It is a very toxic chemical, and dude, when you ingest it, these side effects don't look fun. I mean, we got seizures, paralysis, coma, death, fuck yeah. But my hatred and distrust for CNN led me to ignore all this wonderful information that Wikipedia provided to me for free. Actually, fuck Wikipedia too, I'm just joking. They're super woke now. You can't trust, I don't trust a lot of the shit that they publish. But that being said, it made me rely on my instincts. Made me go back to that animalistic side of me, that gut feeling. I was like, man, my dude with the pillows, my man, Mike Lindell, I think he's telling the truth. So, despite CNN, despite Wikipedia's warnings, I went back to Phoenix Biotech's website and I stumbled across this. But Anderson must not have done his due diligence because on the homepage of Phoenix Biotech, there is a link to a study on oleandrin's effectiveness when it comes to combating COVID-19. So when you click on that link, it brings you to a site called BioRxiv and to a study that was published by several people. I checked out some of their credentials. Some of them had PhDs and had articles that were published in the National Institute of Health, for example. So they are legit. And you can see in their studies, they claim that oleandrin inhibited replication by up to 3,000-fold when it came to the virus, which is ridiculous. And granted, Anderson was right. This isn't a peer-reviewed study, but it's still interesting. And look who sponsors it. What's this? And I will get back to who that sponsor is in a second because you guys will definitely want to know. I found it a little fishy and I think it definitely deserves some more attention in the future. But I wanted to let you guys know really quick what BioRxiv is in the first place. It's a preprint repository. And I had no idea what a preprint was, but it's a version of a scholarly or scientific paper that precedes formal peer review and publication. So the fact that Anderson was dismissing it, or whoever was, because it wasn't peer reviewed yet, this is the step that precedes peer review. So it's well on its way, and who knows what the FDA has done with it. And now you guys ready for who the sponsor is? So the sponsor is called the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, and if that sounds familiar, it should, because it's the same Zuckerberg as Facebook's. That's right. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, is half of the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, and for some reason, him and his wife fund a biological preprint repository for some reason. I don't know about y'all, but all these billionaires getting involved in our health matters recently gives me the creeps and makes me really uneasy. I mean, we had Bill Gates. He's been all over the news recently talking about his new vaccine, which I believe over 80% of participants suffer severe adverse reactions from. But we have things like hydroxychloroquine and potentially this new drug that, science gets behind and actually backs up and is proven to show that it can be an effective treatment when it comes to fighting the virus. We have the media automatically shut that down. We have the big tech companies scrub all videos of any doctor or anyone claiming that these are effective treatments. And we have the media and everyone else propping up Bill Gates as our savior and as our only hope to beat the virus. I mean, this is ridiculous. And I don't know what motive Zuckerberg has behind funding this operation. For some reason, I don't think it's a benevolent one. I don't trust the dude. I think there's something sinister brewing. He gives me the creeps. He's weird. He's gross. But it would make sense. I mean, if this is the step before publication and formal peer review, it would make sense that he could, by funding it, he can step in as the gatekeeper on what gets passed as real science, what gets published and gets disseminated out to the public, because we all hail science as fact pretty much. And when you're in control of what we regard as science, then that's power. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. I'm talking on my ass. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you guys enjoy the video and enjoy the rest of your night.